Welcome back to episode 15 of Primary Target. I'm your host, Who the Fuck, joined always by my co host, Vargren, and our very special guest and friend today, Nammo. Nammo, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here, buddy.
Been trying to have you on for a long time. I'm glad, number one, that you're on the show. Number two, that I get to talk to you in general. Always happy to talk to you.
Likewise. Likewise. Finally, I've met you. So,
Yeah. So, we'll just talk about real quick. We're going to be talking a bit about your background story in Eve, a bit about your corp, Brave Operations Lollipop Division, Bold for short. We're going to talk about how Eve has affected you, like, let's say, like personally.
yeah.
And I'll have some other questions at the end. But let's hear about your background story in Eve.
Right. So, Eve, I think around 2011, I was just chilling that day in my room, trying to find space games to play. I've been in YouTube, and I really remember that day very well. And I kept watching stuff about other space games and Sims, and then I read about Eve Online. It was very intriguing and overwhelming. And I started to read about the game for a few months. My English wasn't really good back in the day, so that was really tough. But when the day came and I installed the game and I started to play, it was way overwhelming. Started in high sec, talking to people, and myself, a mining corp just like everyone else, and eventually got into some nullsec corps here and there. Did not really like it much. I kept quiet most of the time, trying to understand what the hell is going on.
You could say fuck, by the way. It's
I
fine.
You could totally say fuck.
All right.
I like the self-censoring there, though. That was
Thanks. Ended up in Brave, Brave Newbies. It was really interesting. I kept quiet for a year or so. I'm a little bit speech impaired, and my English wasn't really great, so that was made me stay quiet more. But after some time, I started to meet new friends. I learned the game very well, and I enjoyed it. It's completely different than high sec, obviously, and it was a new experiment, new enemies, new mechanics. It was quite nice.
that was like early days of Brave, then I guess, was it?
Yeah, it was Catch 1.0.
Okay, when Brave was this kind of colossal new bro entity doing these things for the first time, really.
Yeah, for me it was mostly Alpha 1, standing. Remember Princess Aricia from Rooks and Kings was always in comms. She helped everyone. Yeah, it was like very old, but the good days where Brave used to field 300, 200 Eagle fleets and Tango fleets and fight PL here and there.
Yeah. I think we all, like, in some way, shape, or form, reminisce about that time, even if we weren't there.
Yeah.
So, how do you go from guy who starts off in high sec and doesn't talk on comms very often to the CEO of, when we in Varg were in Brave, one of the most successful corps in Brave?
Yeah, bold. Yeah, I was actually, I think I was in the right place slash the wrong place. I was very fortunate slash unfortunate. I don't know how I ended up in bold. It was, life changing in so many ways, to be honest. Um, City and Paint Spike recruited me into bold when I was in Brave New. Bold was a small gang trying to be elite corp of Brave. They used to do Black Ops and more smaller scale things, force multipliers and such. And I was quite active back in Catch Stand. And I got spot, they told me, you wanted to join Bold? I'm sure, like, yeah, hell yeah, man. I think we were in Fountain when we got kicked from Catch and then went to like Wolosek for a bit. Went to Fountain, YZ Tech. We were fighting BL a lot. And I think that's when I joined the how I became the CEO of Bold, that's a different story. When we got kicked again from Fountain, we went to Losec. It was Ansu for a bit. There was a lot of internal drama with Brave, if I remember correctly. Coups and shit. And at one point, Bold was probably the most active corp. I used to host the catch, or well, at that point, it was not catch standing. It was just like the standing fleet. Bold were the very active ones who took charge. And basically, things were not doing very great. And the previous command of the corp decided to leave. We went to Infamous, who took catch, which was very convenient for me, at least as a line member. And we also went there with Lumpy Mayo, Shebediah.
Oh,
There was
Festival
also,
Plumbers. Right.
yes, there was also J3B, who were in Brave at one point, but went to Infamous. So it was 3 corps from Brave and Infamous, along some other corps who were probably mostly in Simple Farmers. And there I started to climb the ranks. Became an officer, became a milder. I was still not really knowing what the fuck I was doing, but we had a bad EU time zone.
Buddy, I mean, like I'm
Um,
I'm the CEO of my own corp now, and I'm probably one of the more experienced FCs in my group, and I still feel like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing half the time. I'm like, I don't think that I think I'm
Oh no,
fooling
I
everybody
can
here.
confirm you absolutely don't.
Thank you. Okay, just as long as someone confirmed that for me, I feel better now.
yeah, we all not really sure what the fuck we're doing in
Thank
game.
you for validating my feelings there, Varg. It was very nice of you.
I got your back, buddy.
So after Infamous, I started to become one of the main people in the corp for a long time. Had more roles and such. What makes it easier is I was close with everyone, and people knew that my English wasn't that great, and I'm still trying to learn and so on. So everyone was nice to me. I was the special snowflake to a certain extent.
You
Which,
still very much are now. Come on.
yes, I think I am. So yeah, after Infamous did not really work, we went to Escalating Entropy. Actually, no, we made our own alliance for some time. Flew with Horde. We're Blue with Horde in 7RM in the north, next to Pure Blind and such. Eventually went to LowSec, Escalating Entropy, because the whole alliance, our own alliance, did not really work for us. It was kind of hard, and there was a lot of issues as well. Escalating Entropy died after 2 weeks upon us joining, so we have this reputation of killing any alliance that we join.
Yeah,
Because I
wow,
mean,
2 weeks. That's
yeah,
quick. I mean, even for you.
yeah, 2 freaking weeks. At that point, when we were trying to find out where we should go, the previous Milder and a bunch of crucial dudes basically decided to leave Bold and go to PL. And they took off with most of the guys in Bold. I think I only had like 7 active around that time. The previous CEO, Asmodian, took us back to Brave. Brave was kind enough to accept us back with very strict terms, to be honest. And yeah,
I'm curious.
and yeah, basically, I'm sure you guys know there was this not allowed to recruit anyone from within the alliance and so on.
Yep.
Yeah, it was very hard for a corp that's trying to grow, but at the same time, I do understand why the alliance wanted that back in the days, because lots of corps did join the alliance, recruit a lot of people, and then go off somewhere else, and it was a
Yeah.
loop, it kept happening. Anyways, Asmo at that point was completely AFK. I was the second in command. I did everything. I knew the team. The team started to grow more and more. And then I became the Alliance Diplo for Brave. Professor Push was the one who approached me and asked if I was interested. Thankfully enough, when I was in Infamous and even when I was up north with our own alliance, I kept good relations with Brave. I always recruited people to Brave. Sometimes when I used to come to shoot Brave, I ended up being in their fleets, helping them in their comms, and fight like the third party. and I used to acquire blue standings for a few hours. After the enemy leaves, I would simply get reset, fight Brave. It was so, Push knew what kind of guy I was. I became the Alliance Diplo for Brave. Shortly afterwards, Asmo gave me CEO, and and the restrictions on intra-alliance recruitment was it was gone, thankfully, because there was a bunch of people who always wanted to join Bolt, but because of that, they could not, and they joined. And we had some agreement, basically a 3-to-1 ratio. If we accept 3 people from Brave, well, one would have to be outside of the alliance. Or was it the
Okay.
opposite? I don't remember, to be honest. Yeah, and that's how I became the CEO. Bold.
So, like,
Up.
I've been
That's
a
like
part of a
short version.
corporation that had an AFK CEO who was reluctant to give up their seat. And I just want to quickly ask, was Asmo, was he like reluctant, or was he very much like, we need active leadership. You're doing it. Here you go.
To be honest, Asmo did offer me CEO a few times before I actually was CEO, but I refused
Oh,
because I always wanted him to be involved. When someone completely loses the role, they might go AFK even further. And I
yeah.
did enjoy Asmo being in comps and such. Also, he took roles in Bold are not easy to acquire. No one was like a director except Lenny Kravitz, um, and even like when he got banned and such,
I was going to say,
there
I'm
was
pretty sure
no
we'll talk more about that later.
yeah, and there was no second in command for like a long time. But Asmo saw that me and a couple of dudes were always there. Even when we go AFK for some time, we come back and we let some commit. We never took advantage of the corp, and so on. So I think he wanted to make sure that whoever takes lead would be the appropriate.
That's good. That's healthy. I can
Mhm.
appreciate that. So from there, where is Bold now? Like,
Right.
what's the story from there to now?
So the story about Bowl switching Test Alliance. Um,
Because it's weird, right? It's Brave operations, and they're
Lollipop.
in
Yeah.
no longer in the Brave Collective. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Sometimes it's inconvenient. Sometimes it is very convenient. We were called Brave even when we were not in Brave for so long. People did confuse this a lot.
Hmm.
Um, when we were back in Brave and we grew and everything, the number and the team were basically eager to do more and more. And Brave were doing all right, but compared to now, they were doing less optimal to a certain extent. Um, there was a lot of restrictions on people in Bold in regards of supers and capitals and like some such. And maybe some would describe that Brave were lacking command. They needed more people to be involved, people being AFK and such, which was true in certain cases, but not true at other. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm familiar with at
and
least part of that. Yeah.
yeah, and basically, people started complaining more and more. Um, and I eventually sent like a survey of some sort, and I was surprised that 90 people were keen on leaving the alliance, which was really hard for me. Because at that point I was active, but I just did not really have enough time to do a lot of things, and it was very convenient for me to log in into GE or Victor 3 and do the stuff because Brave always has the content. People come and shoot Brave all the time.
Yeah.
And I
No,
like Brave, Yeah, I was enjoying my job, like as a Diplo. I enjoy the interactions and so on. But eventually, I don't steer that ship alone. And I started losing people to test. A few of my key figures left. One of my FCs left. One of the officers left. And the second in command was also about to leave. Not because they hated Bold, but they stuck Bold for a long time because they like Corp, but they were not happy with the line for their own reasons. So eventually, I did consider leaving. I had a few meetings, and I asked everyone, hey, if we move, are you gonna stay with us? Do you actually want to move? And 80% to 85 were like, yes. The others did not really care, except a few. And we made the switch. It was kind of tough, to be honest. There was some drama, if I remember correctly. Some people changed their minds, stayed brave. Some people stayed in Brave because they needed more time to practice and learn things. But I did my best not to burn any bridge. I liked Brave from the beginning. It is my home, and as you said earlier, we are called Brave Operations. So, I'll always stay true to my home.
Plus,
Yeah.
like as far as a switch goes, moving from Brave to Test, I think is one of the kind of most friendly alliance switches you can do. In that, like Brave and Test have been friends for a very long time. They have like tons of combined operations, both part of Legacy. So it's really like it's a lot of the same people. It's just doing different stuff inside of the same kind of entity.
Yes, exactly. Thank you
So
very
it's
much.
not like, if you'd have left Brave and gone to PL or Goons or something like that I feel like would have been a much more bridge burning kind of a move.
Yeah, I guess in a way.
Yeah.
But it's
Some
still,
people did not really like the fact that we moved to Smooth Test from Brave. Some people had their own feelings about it. But eventually,
You can't please
everyone who
everyone.
mattered. Exactly.
but I feel like even you, Namo, like of all the people, of all the CEOs, of all the beloved uh, staples in Brave, if you were to leave for PL, Brave would probably have the least hard feelings towards you for that. If that makes sense. Like, I
Yeah.
have fond memories of times having to discuss things with you as the Alliance Diplo, being on the how do I put this? Uh, Perhaps the provocateur side of things, and
Yeah.
I
Oh, really?
remember, yeah, a couple
Man,
of
I
times at
never got in
least.
trouble with Nammo.
That's because you were a Diplo too. Uh,
No, Varg was not a diplomat.
No,
was
no,
he?
no. That was
I
just,
thought
that
he
was
was
just a
in.
bullshit title.
Oh, it was a bullshit title. Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you were
yeah.
just trolling me for like years.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Didn't you
Well,
notice that I never actually did anything?
well, I mean, I just figured that was par for the course for you. Like,
Yeah, true. That was actually my FC career as well.
yeah. But I do have like fond memories of like having Diplo incidents and being like, well, at least I get to talk to Namo. Like, at least I know that it's not going to be someone who I don't enjoy talking to who's going to like give me such a hard time for this and not be understanding. And I feel like that probably gives credit to like your successes at court because you're like a very understanding person and a very unique you're a unique personality to me in this game, and there's always a place in my heart for you. Uh, because at
I'm
one point
flattered,
we
thanks.
weren't friends. At one point we were very much on the opposite end of friendship.
I
And
remember that day. Yep.
yeah, yeah, I still have regrets about that. I will admit to you that I was probably
Likewise.
not a great person in that moment, but um, we all grow as people, and I remember
We all
one year for was it for Ramadan?
I think so.
You sent
I
me a
think it
message and
was.
you were like, if I was ever wronged, if I ever wronged you in the past, I hope you forgive me, and I forgive you for anything you wronged me for. And I was like, what? Did he just like, greeting card me? Did I just get greeting carded? Like, I was like, yo, we're supposed to be like not friends, and you were like, nah, I love you, bro. And I was like, oh man, I love you too, bro. Oh man.
Yeah.
And
I don't
ever
really
since then,
take
I
things
mean,
personally. Yeah.
we haven't look at me and you haven't actually spoken to each other in probably a year now because it's been that long since we haven't been in the same alliance. But we joined comms here today, and it was like, oh man, I missed you so much, and that gives testament to you and to Bold, I think, because I even
Like,
spoke with some of your dudes on comms here today, and they were like, who the fuck? And I was like, you guys all greeted me with such kindness. This is so nice of you. And they were like, oh man, how are you doing? And you have developed a great culture in your corporation, and cheers to you for that.
thanks, buddy. I gave that up. I am really like some flattered. I tend not to take things like so personally. when I was a Diplo, 90% of the issues were simply a misunderstanding or miscommunication of some sort. And people get, I'm not like, people lose it or rage because they're very passionate about what they're doing, not because, at least not everyone. And they're not bad, they're not anything. They're just passionate about what they're doing and they think that they're right. But after they calm down and they talk to each other, then they understand. I simply reminded people to put their shoes on the other side so they can actually understand what's the other like guys facing, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah,
We're all just people behind keyboards after all, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. I really appreciate the community of Eve. I appreciate my friends, and I do my best not to burn any bridge. Like when I became a brave, when I became like a in the Diplo and Brave, I did not burn a bridge with Horde, and I managed to leave an alt corp that's blue to Horde and space the ship Samurai, if I remember. And
huh.
I was doing things with Brave, and also doing things there, and it was in the plain open. It was no secret, and that takes a lot of trust. They know that hey, I'm not gonna harm you guys. I'm not gonna relay intel of any sort. I'm just simply enjoying some time with my friends. And instead of putting an alt into Horde and be sneaky about it, no, I'm just gonna be, hey, it's Nammo, and I'm here just to shoot some things, and I don't
It's
shoot blues
it's a
whatsoever.
really short list of people who have been allowed to do that openly by Brave, and
Yeah.
pretty much always excellent people on that list.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Um, it sounds to me like Eve has had a big impact on you personally.
yeah, it actually did. Because I know Eve is a game, but at the same time, if you get very involved into the game, it's beyond the game. It's a lifestyle of some sort, always in the loop, talking to people from your corp, from your alliance, and they become a very big part of your life
Well,
and your
Eve is
day.
a game, but the people that play it aren't. You know,
Well,
and
yeah,
I've said it before that like Eve is basically like it's a human relationship simulator, except there's real
exactly.
humans on the other end. Because so much of what you do, and because of the way that Eve is built, where everything is permanent, so much of what you do will stay with you for your entire time in the game. And so you build up a reputation. And that reputation is important. I would say more important than almost anything else in Eve. It's kind of the people who know you and the people who are your friends and the groups that you run with. You know, these are all the kind of the defining factors.
Exactly. Um, like as I said earlier, in the beginning, my English was really bad. My accent was really bad, and as you guys know, I'm a speech impaired, so it was not really
I didn't
optimal to
know
be a
that.
comedy
I've
guy.
known you for like what 3 years.
Yeah, same.
I've spent hundreds of hours with you in comms, in catch standing and stuff. I had no idea you had a speech impediment. So whatever it is, you're hiding it very well.
Yeah.
Yes, it takes a lot of freaking like like a mental power
Is this
to
like
try
you
to
maximum fucking like veins standing out on the forehead, gripping the desk?
exactly.
Don't fuck up.
Yeah, and being in comms, being the center of like attention in front of everyone, can get a little bit it's scary to a certain extent. And again, adding to that, my English was really bad. So it was really hard in the beginning. But when you get close to people and you spend a lot of time with people, you start to feel comfortable. They support you and so on. They give me a hard time, obviously. Like no one gave me a hard time more than Bold in the beginning. Oh my god, dude. They bullied me so bad, but it's not actual harassment. It was friends giving each other a hard time. And I also did give them a hard time.
Yeah, you
So
gotta
yeah,
give people shit.
yeah. Um, so Eve exposed me to people from different cultures, from North America, South America, Europe, Australia, Asia, and so on. And I learned a lot about people. I learned a lot about people who are not from here. And everyone helped me to improve my English, spelling, my grammar, sometimes even the accent. I remember I used to stand like in the mirror and be like, water, 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 water. And, I tried to
Yeah.
copy it. And after some time, since you're an Eve player, you know that Excel sheets will be involved, or at least sheets. And I had,
It's inevitable, yes.
Yeah, and people helped me. I actually learned a lot about Excel sheets, and now I'm applying all of these skills that I gained from Eve Online into my real life job. And so yeah, Eve had a good impact. It improved my language, made me uh, meet so much people, understand about other people and their like some cultures, religion. Unfortunately, I got introduced to Americanismo politics. I was not keen on that, but I got exposed to it, and now I know way more
Oh,
than I
buddy.
should be able to know.
Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah.
wish I could
So
know less, right? Like,
so yeah, Eve is quite an interesting place with a very interesting uh, people. So now, yeah, now I can easily say I have friends all over the world, even if we don't really meet each other. But again, I consider them as friends, and I would very be eager to go meet them in the near future. Hopefully,
yeah.
after this whole COVID-19 thing finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird that, isn't it? But it's like it's totally one of the coolest things that I never really kind of had foreseen when I was like a kid growing up that this would be. It's like the list of people who I would trust my house keys with involves like almost no one that lives within 1,000 miles of me because of the fact that there's just like I've got people who I trust like implicitly who I've never met in person and probably never will and exist on the other side of the planet to me in a different time zone.
Yep,
Isn't it fucking cool? It feels like we're living in the future sometimes.
it is. It is
Yeah.
cool and interesting.
Oh,
That's
we
what I
are
All right,
really
living in the
like.
I got
future.
Game.
I got questions. I got questions like moving back a little bit because you've recently, I mean, I say recently, it's not that recently, but you've had enough time now to adjust to kind of like the test compared to Brave.
Yeah.
And like, what do you like? How does that comparison stack up? Like, Brave is obviously, new bro friendly. Kind of, you got to play to the lowest common denominator. Generally, you got to make sure everyone kind of keeps up. What is test like in comparison?
Well, to be honest, as a line member, it's literally the same. Just that tests are kind of bigger, and they know more. They're more experienced. People have been doing this for ages compared to Brave, at least. So it's the same thing. From a CEO's perspective, to be honest, again, it's the same thing. Tests are a wee bit more organized with a proper IT infrastructure. Brave did actually improve compared to after what I left. Um, but yeah, it's the same thing on a bigger scale, a wee bit more organized due to the nature of the things that they do and like the magnitude of how they do things. But again, it's all the same. Plus, we're all in the same coalition, so
Yeah, yeah,
tomato
yeah. So,
tomato.
so really, it's just kind of like well, I guess like a slight kind of attitude change, taking things a little bit more seriously, not so much catering to the new bro as catering to the experienced player.
Exactly, exactly. We do have people who support like the newbies and everything, but yeah, Brave are more focused for that. Tests are not the best place, in my own, to recruit someone who's completely new, except if they have the support. They found a corp or a bunch of people who would help them. We do have a lot of
Yeah.
newbies and everything, but Brave, focused on that. The staying classy part, I actually thought that when I go to test, things are just going to be, all over the place. But to be honest, it's people are classy. They have more freedom, I guess. But to be
Yeah.
honest, from what I've seen, everything.
You cut out the last part.
Hello?
Yeah. You
Hello?
there? Oh,
Yeah.
there he is.
Yep, yep, yep.
You cut out the last part. You said everything you've seen is
Yeah, it's all the same, in my
the same.
opinion.
Was that your questions, Varg? Because I have questions.
Yeah, yeah. To be honest, like I'm going to give away some trade secrets here, but like we occasionally will write something down before we do one of these podcasts, just like a brief outline. And this is a really good question, so I'll ask you a really good question now.
Okay.
I want to know the answer to this.
So I'm a CEO of my own corporation now, Nammo, and we do very well, and um, I'm very proud of where we've come from the beginning of it till now. I've always looked up to you in this CEO manner because you have always been able to manage being a CEO of a successful corporation, be able to make it fun, be able to keep your dudes sort of like in line or classy or well behaved, like keep them sort of in, within the bounds
Yeah.
of good behavior. Uh, you've all, as long as I've known you, you've been some sort of diplo. You've had all these sort of space jobs that can easily burn people out, but you also seem to be able to still just have fun in the game and not get burnt out. And I want to know, how is there a philosophy that you follow? Is there, what do you do to make that a reality for you?
To be honest, I like one of the things that I do. I always remind myself that, hey, this is a serious game, but eventually these people are human. They have issues, they have feelings, they have emotions, and behind the screen or a mic, you can't really tell if the person in front of you is having a bad day, like a good day. So I always remind myself that these are human beings. I tend to stay connected as much as I can to each one of them. It works for Bold because we're kind of small. We're small and like tight in a way. So that gives me the chance to connect to each one of them, to know them behind. Well, obviously, if they don't mind, to know them as a human being more than just like a Eve tune. And if after some time, your people are going to treat you with respect, love, and everything because they know the person behind the tune, and they don't want to cause you issues. They respect you as a human being, look up to you, and they know that you rule with love. Yet, in the same time, if you screw up, you'll rule with the fist. I try to keep that balance. But again, people comply and not cause shit because they just don't want to cause issues. They love their home. They appreciate that I'm doing so much here and there. They know that when they do something or screw something up, that it's gonna cause me a lot of issues, and I'll have to talk and walls of text, comms and Diplo and blah blah blah. So they don't really want to cause this stuff. They like the home that they're in. They respect me. They respect themselves. They respect everyone in the corp, and it works. Um, Again, I did say like I do connect with every one of them. I rule with understandings, being like I try to address everything. I look at things from their own like it's more perspective. I look at things from my perspective. If there's an alliance issue, I put myself in their shoes. If there's a corp issue, I try to relay the misunderstandings, the issues from the both ends, and usually it works. So yeah, it's a fine equation. It's a try to keep a balance between love and being in like the iron fist. Uh, I
Man,
tell my
it's really
people all
not
the
hard to
time.
see why you ended up in a Diplo role
Yeah,
in Eve.
really.
Goddamn.
I agree.
Like
Yeah.
it's a basic human communication. If you just be selfish and you look at things from your own view, uh, you're not gonna go far away, to be honest. But if you try to solve every issue by looking at things from both ends, then you'll understand. You'll try to find like a middle ground.
Sometimes, like I'll log on for the day and I'll look at Discord and there's like 10 Discord notifications for like six different channels and DMs and whatnot for things that I need to deal with, or things that I need to at least read up on. And by the time I get done with all of that and like doing like maintenance stuff for just like the corp of the alliance, I'm like, man, I just wanted to go out and shoot some spaceships in in a wormhole or nullsec today. I didn't want to do any of this stuff, and it's like it can be exhausting sometimes. I
It is
think
exhausting.
I think like what I'm hearing
It
from
is
you is that like you have a love for the people that you're playing with, and that was what drives you. And
exactly.
I think that
But
I appreciate that.
like in the beginning, you're gonna face these issues because you still don't have a big team. After a time, when you connect more with your team, you'll be able to assign people certain roles when you trust these people. Obviously, I don't run this place myself, but through the years, I became friends with people, trustworthy people, and they helped me run the corps. Because the bigger you get, you like it'll just be hard, and Eve will just feel like a job to you. You'll You wake up in the morning, you go to work, you come back, and then you have more work. That's not the way to. You need to have a team. Thankfully, my team understand how I do things, and like eventually everything is my call, but I don't run the place myself. They vote about things. We discuss everything. I have a guy for HR, I have a guy for IT, and so on. So the bigger you get, you're eventually going to have to assign people to do things and help you because you're a human being, and even despite that, sometimes I need to take frequent breaks from the game. Like every couple of months, I'll take 2 weeks off, and that's how I don't really get very like kind of burned from the game.
Yeah.
Like delegation is honestly is a really good point. And this is not just for Eve, to anyone in any kind of management position. It's like this is so key to not like burning yourself out. Is finding trustworthy people to get to do stuff. But I also like really want to chime in on that second thing. Like as a guy who's been playing since 2009, I haven't really been playing since 2009. I played like a year or two on, and then a few months off, and then a couple of years on, and then maybe a couple of years off. But you can kind of keep coming back to it, and it keeps it fresh and interesting. And plus, there's a million other good games out there. The people you play Eve with will play the other stuff with you too. It's I'm a big fan of the idea of kind of definitely mix it up a bit.
I agree with you 100%. Bold is just not like a EVE Online Corp anymore. It's a virtual home for people from all around the world. They can do things together. They can talk. They can play other games. They meet in real life. So a successful corp from like as the same scale as Bold needs to be a home. To be honest, at least that's how I see things. Bold is not just a corp; it's a home for.
Thank you. That was very helpful.
Thanks.
I have a question, Nammo.
Shoot.
I've only been playing this game for like 3 years now, which means that there's a story that predates me that I'm unaware of. And you even asked me for help with the project relating to this story, and I was completely unaware of what it was even. I was like, all right, sure, whatever. You want help? I'll help you. And I was like, what is this all about? But now I have the chance to ask you, who the fuck is Lenny Kravitz?
Oh boy, Lenny Kravitz.
Oh boy, maybe
He's a musician. Good
besides
guitar
that
player.
guy. Besides that guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
The other one.
Yeah, Eve one. Lenny Kravitz too. Lenny Kravitz was a director in Bold, a Diplo guy in Bold. He was also a banker in EVE Online. He was involved with I Want ISK, the website for the gambling and stuff.
Mm.
And he was one of the.
This is the time of the casino war?
Yes. He was doing these things since that war, and it was a few years before that even. In Hero Coalition back in the days, he was also the one helping to SRP the coalition as a whole while being in Bold and in Brave.
Wow.
He was in Bold way, I think, a year and a half before I joined, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure. But yeah. So he was one of the richest dudes in the game. And basically, at one point, he had an issue, and friends also had an issue with goons. And he basically helped fund the war against the goons. World War B1. All of the casino esque was used to fund all of these attacks and pay all the groups in the game to attack the goons and so on. It's a very interesting story, obviously.
My brain has actually just done the thing where it's like, shit, it actually is World War B1 now because we're calling this new one World War B2. That's we just had like a World War One, World War Two moment. Anyway, carry on.
So yeah, it's a very long story. People search online the whole thing, very complicated. But the bottom line, this guy is in Bold. He was banned at one point due to some allegations, and after a few years, he was able to provide proof that these accusations were not true. So the hardware ban that was on him was lifted, and now the guy's back. He's in bold. He's not that active yet, but yeah, he have a he have a couple of surprises. Certain people, hopefully, we'll see in
You
the near
you
future.
seem to have conveniently skipped over some crucial parts there.
Yeah, off sex.
All right, well, let me go back then. Let me go back before that because I don't actually know, and I'm sure that I could read on Reddit if I scroll back enough, but I don't actually know what the are we calling it World War B1 or are we calling it the Casino War? Which one is it?
We can call it either, to be honest.
Okay,
They're
well,
all the
tell me what Casino War was about because I don't actually know.
I don't really recall all of the events, but basically it was an issue between one of the bankers and the guy in Goons. Someone stole something from someone. That guy ran back to Goons, and the bankers asked the Goons to SRP them for this and that. Um, I might be wrong. I'm trying to remember, but basically Goons told the group to fuck off. So they took it upon themselves to use all of the risk that they had to fund the war against the goons and to basically kill the goons, to evac them and so on. And that was the beginning of the war. Obviously goons are so big back in the days. Well, they are still big, but it took the effort of multiple alliances and entity groups to be able to evac them, which is practically what's happening now. Now, no ISK war. I mean, no ISK from the casino. But back then, all the entities had all the ISK they wanted to reship SRP themselves to build and utilize all the ISK to fill the goal. Mercenary Coalition, PL, Test, NC, everyone.
So do
I mean,
you
it is mind blowing to actually consider the sheer amount of ISK that must have been available on the side of the kind of the attackers in that war. Like that, just essentially that this. I mean, I guess it wasn't 100% just Lenny, but it's a very small group of people, basically just SRPing entire alliances for a long time.
Yeah, every time I
And
think
then
about it,
some.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, like just such vast amounts of ISK being thrown at it. It's kind of it's such a like cool little bit of Eve history, really. Just just such a kind of a minor grievance, essentially on like the universal scale, can escalate so hugely just from the application of ISK in the right places.
Yeah, it's mind blowing, to be honest. And I could not believe that this guy was on Bold in my Slack talking to each
Yeah.
other. Bold was very spoiled back in the days when I was just like a line member. We had unlimited SRP, to be honest, for everything. Yeah, so yeah, the guys are
That's gotta
Bold.
feel nice.
Yeah, like the old Bold was kind of spoiled. Like 90% of them already left, quit the game. But yeah, they had unlimited resources to do whatever the hell that they wanted. And I guess that's one of the factors that they did not want to stay in Brave and Brave 1.0. They had so much potential. They had so much ISK to fill their dreams and so on. And they were in an alliance that was kind of dead back in the days when we got kicked. So yeah.
Well, I'm
But
looking forward to seeing what happens this time round.
yeah, me too. I've been AFK for a few months, so I did not really take part of the war until now. Hopefully,
Yeah,
I'll be able to.
I was going to ask, like, what's Bold been up to during the war? What's your
well, we
side
all
of
know
things?
what Joey's been up to.
Yeah,
It's been
Joey.
busy. Been busy.
He's been busy.
So, Bold is trying to basically help the Alliance and at the same time do their own thing when they can. Bold is a unique corp. It's not just like F1. We do provide a certain environment for people who wants to join tests, but not just click F1 every time, do their own thing here and there.
Yeah,
But
give us like a little recruitment pitch. Like, what kind of stuff do you do?
a bit of everything, to be honest. Mainly focus on roams, small gangs, and such, and like small black ops. But obviously, we still help the alliance. We do our part. Like F1, we go here and there. But yeah, it's mainly what we like to do if we're not in a big war or something. A small gang, the blobs, the camping. Um, we're small, but we're fierce, to be honest. We know what we're doing. We've been doing it for so long. I used to camp with Simple Farmers before they became Simple Farmers. Shout out to Hell on Earth and Black Aces and all the people who were in Bold and now are in Simple Farmers. So yeah, we do a bit of everything.
Hmm. So, Varg, do you have a kill mail?
Oh man, I totally got distracted. I wasn't even paying
Oh, you
attention.
spaced out.
Yeah, I know. Well, I've just been chatting to Nammo. You know, it's easy
Well,
to
I want
kind
to
of
chat
lose
with
track.
Nemo too. I want to chat with him about his embarrassing kill mails.
Oh God.
Well, I think we'll
Well,
have
I
to skip
mean,
the kill
normally
mail.
what I do is just we just go like all the way back to like the very first. But like, god damn, Nammo, you do not lose a lot of spaceships.
No, he's very
This
good.
is some crazy efficiency.
Yeah.
You know,
AFK CEO, I guess. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I
I
just
was
remember.
you
always
kill a lot of spaceships. You
I
just don't
just
lose a lot of
remember
spaceships.
a period of time where like Nemo was like having lots of fun gate camping in Victor 3 in like insta lockers and whatnot, and being
Oh
like,
yeah, man.
this guy's a CEO. None of the other CEOs do this shit. Why is he getting to have fun? What the fuck? Like, and being like, taking that with me later on and being like, I just want to have fun and be CEO. Like,
Yeah, camping is very convenient for a CEO who's really freaking busy all the time. When I have the
Man,
time, or even when I was really busy, I just undock in V3, ping for a small camp because we want to talk to each other and at the same time kill some dude. I just insta-lock 24/7 in V3.
hang on, so I've gone all the way back here. Your first ever loss is in a Harpy, which is like a decent spaceship, and you've lost it 100% to a Galente small control tower
What was
somewhere in the
date?
Spire.
you're
This is
suspicious, Nemo.
2007, all the way
Yeah,
back. To 2007.
that's not me.
Go
That's
check
the
That's
the
not
wrong
me.
log.
Nammo. That's
Yeah,
the wrong Nammo. What the hell?
I,
That would make sense.
I obtained Nammo around 2012
Oh,
or 13 or
oh,
something. Yeah.
yeah, he is suspicious. I think he's a spy.
This is
Always a
crazy.
spy. Always a spy.
Definitely a spy. Does Bold know you're a spy?
Oh, obviously, all of Bold knows. Alliance knows. Even the brave dudes know that I'm a spy. The question is, who am I spying for? Spying for? On a serious
Yeah.
note, I don't lose ships because I've always been broke. I remember back in the days in Bold, I used to get a loan of 100,000 ISK only so I can install a jump clone. That's how poor I was.
Oh
Um,
yeah, totally, man. Coming up poor is how you learn to like value shit.
yeah, man. And I did not really like to take money from anyone Bold much. So yeah, I learned how to keep my ships. Max Coward in the beginning. I used to
Oh,
fly
totally.
Confessor without a point for a couple of years. Gained like 300 kill marks on that Confessor at one point.
Wow. Christ. Mine can't. I don't even get mine to 1 and I lose it. Like,
Max
No,
Coward
but
mode.
I was exactly the same. Like I didn't really have a lot of money like getting started in the game, and like I joined the mercenary corps specifically to earn money, and so like ISK efficiency is kind of like one of the big things that gets valued when you're being a merc, because you know you don't want to be losing the ISK score and feeding the guys who've been paid to kill. So yeah, ever since then, it's just been like you want the most efficient tool to do the job, because ships are marrow and they're always going to die. So yeah, plus also maledictions are just great.
yeah, I just stock beam retributions and maledictions by the dozen because that's how
Yeah,
it goes, you know?
good way of doing it.
Yeah. I mean, at the rate I'm losing them, a Titan is just not achievable at any point in my life. So, but I can dream. I can dream. Well, I think that brings us to an end, Namo. It has been an absolute pleasure hearing your voice again and talking to you. And I hope we get to do
Likewise,
this
my
again
friend.
soon. Yeah.
Hopefully, we will. We will. It was a good talk.
Yeah. For everyone listening, thanks for tuning in. This has been episode 15 of Primary Target and Fly Dangerously.